Confusion, disbelief, uncertainty. That's what I remember feeling when the pandemic started. It was crazy how everything just changed in a few weeks, and I kept telling myself that everything would be back to normal soon. But when soon kept getting pushed back further and further, eventually you just realize that it's gonna be a while before things go back to normal. And so, out of boredom, I decided to pick up my old skateboard. And out of longing for human interaction, I decided to start playing basketball again for the first time in years. And out of just the desire to experience new things, even if it is vicariously, I've fallen madly in love with reading again. Even as terrible as these last few months have been, getting back into these old hobbies has made it just that much more bearable. For me, skating is exhilarating, full of both joy and terror. And I suppose it's kind of odd to be drawn to something that scares you during a time of such fear, but when you're skating, even though you're essentially always in danger, you're in complete control of whatever happens. And I find this brief sense of control to be pretty comforting compared to the world we live in, where it seems like there's so little that we have control over. I got back into skating in May. I've actually been interested in skating my whole life. I've just been way too scared to really try at it. My roommate and I were really just looking for something to get us out of the house, but very quickly skating became a daily habit. I think this is because skating is really all about having fun. I don't consider myself a good skater, but every time I step on my board, I'd have a lot of fun. I'd forget about the rest of the world, and that's what skating's all about. I'm not really much of a sports guy, but I love playing basketball. When I'm on the court, it's like the repetitious bounce of the ball drowns everything out. The rest of the world fades. Additionally, when I'm playing basketball, I find it a lot easier to talk to new people, which is something that an introverted person like myself found terrifying way before the pandemic started. So it's really nice to have this kind of setting where you can meet new people who at least have one thing in common with you, and typically everyone who comes through is just trying to have fun and forget about their day for a little bit. While reading books might not physically get me out of my apartment, mentally it takes me on a new journey with every turning of a page. This semester I had the privilege of reading some absolutely fantastic works thanks to my American literature course. Initially, I thought these readings would be somewhat of a pain, but seriously, it was my privilege to read these books. Specifically the Ernest Hemingway books. I got really into them. Sometimes I feel that I lose myself in the pages, and perhaps that's because the characters in these books can still travel and go to parties and have adventures. Meanwhile, COVID has derailed not only my plans, but everyone else's. I still feel that getting to experience new things, even if it is vicariously through these fictional characters, is something that's beautiful to me. Finding these ways to escape not only my apartment and boredom, but the problems of my life and the world as a whole has absolutely made me a happier person. And I think that it's super important for everyone to go and find their own escape. Whatever makes you happy and makes you forget about the problems that you have, go and do it as much as you can. Find your escape.